Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Eric Ross. In 2018, our News 5 Investigates team produced nearly 100 investigations. We held public officials accountable, fought for transparency, and most importantly, we fought for you. Together, I'm proud to say our work has led to changes in state law, held con artists accountable for their actions, and helped victims get their money back. We'll take a look at some of those stories in a moment, but we begin tonight with a story that angered so many of you. Years of abuse and neglect at the El Pueblo Boys and Girls Ranch kept hidden from the public. That was until we filed an open records request that revealed disturbing abuse reports. While the Center for Troubled Youth and Adults with Psychiatric and Behavioral Issues is closed permanently, tonight there are still questions over why no one has been criminally charged.
I do not want this place ever opened up again, so I was very happy.
Lisa Mitchell and her son Sam spoke with News 5 Investigates shortly after the state suspended El Pueblo's license to operate. Sam suffered a brain injury at birth, struggled in school, and had mood swings, so Lisa sought help. And at the age of 11, the state sent Sam to El Pueblo. Little did Lisa know what would happen behind the brick walls at the facility.
I feel like it was so concealed, it was like a secret.
A secret confirmed in state inspection reports the I-Team reviewed. We discovered case after case of abuse and neglect, from a staff member admitting to kicking a child with his steel-toed boot because he was, quote, a slob, to staff members kneeing a child who wouldn't sit down. And on multiple occasions, state inspectors said El Pueblo staff did not appear to care about the well-being of the children in their care.
I got knee strikes. Female staff would, like when they restrained me, they would pinch me. Some staff would like choke me and to the point where my face is blue and I couldn't breathe.
Sam says as some staff members would physically hit or kick children, other employees ignored the problems. State inspectors confirmed El Pueblo staff failed to report suspected abuse and neglect to DHS as required by law.
Your tax dollars went to fund this. You funded child abuse.
News 5 Investigates uncovered El Pueblo CEO Jimmy Cardinal was caught covering up the abuse. In this state suspension summary report, Cardinal inappropriately restrained a child and then submitted false information to the state about the incident.
When we discovered that we were seeing that pattern of untruth, unwillingness to cooperate, unwillingness to adhere to rule, that is when we then properly escalated and took adverse action and suspended their license.
But that was not until the fall of 2017. In state inspection reports that we obtained, we noticed there was a history of violations that occurred over and over and over again from year to year. It's been documented for years, but nothing appeared to take place. There were no consequences.
Well, when we are working with a facility, it's really important for us to understand, are we working with a struggling good actor who's really capable of making those changes, or are we working with someone who's unable or unwilling to make those changes?
Minna Castillo-Cohen says when violations are documented, their goal is to give the facility time to respond and correct problems first, not suspend or close down the facility.
We don't want to re-traumatize kids by just going in and closing a facility. There are placement disruptions that can be very traumatic to children.
But parents like Lisa argue being abused and neglected is also traumatizing.
I don't know who is going to hold them accountable, but we demand a grand jury.
Has any El Pueblo employee been arrested and charged with child abuse and neglect?
Not to my knowledge.
If any parents did what some of these El Pueblo employees did to children at that facility, they would likely be behind bars today.
I am unaware of any employee of El Pueblo that had criminal charges pressed against them. I think you could take that up with local law enforcement.
In cases we reviewed where staff members admitted to physically abusing children, they were simply fired or allowed to resign, a slap on the wrist. What do you say to parents who say the state failed their children and they failed them?
I would say to parents that we care deeply about all children in our state. What happened at El Pueblo was deeply, deeply saddening to us, and we want Colorado families to know that we are working tirelessly, diligently to improve our processes.
I followed up with Pueblo District Attorney Jeff Chostner about possible criminal charges against staff members at the facility. He said to date, no law enforcement agency has turned over any cases for him to review. Now, we did learn the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office took 4 separate reports dating back to 2012. However, we're told there wasn't enough probable cause for deputies to make an arrest in those cases. Well, earlier this year, we uncovered the state's Treasury Department had nearly $1 billion in assets that don't belong to them. In fact, it's your money, but the catch is you have to ask for it. The Great Colorado Payback program is supposed to reunite Coloradans with lost money from old bank accounts and other assets you may have forgotten about. But as we discovered, some people struggled to get what they were owed.
I'm Colorado Treasurer Walker Stapleton.
You may have seen the commercials on TV.
As your treasurer, I love finding ways to give people their money back. And that's what the Great Colorado Payback is all about.
I thought, well, I'll check and see if there was anything available.
After Joel Phillips' mother passed away, he decided to log on to the Great Colorado Payback website and found his mother had more than $2,000 in unclaimed stock dividends. But getting the money wouldn't be easy, at least not in his case.
It said it would take upwards of 20 weeks to get it back.
But 20 weeks came and went without any check.
Now at the end of 40 weeks, which was 8 months, I called them again, and whoever I talked to there said, I don't know why it's taking so long. It shouldn't be. I'll get in touch with a supervisor, and if there's any problem, have them get back to you. And I haven't heard a word, and now we're going on 10 months.
It's our job to reunite that money with its rightful owners.
It is frustrating because, you know, when they say, you watch the commercials and it's, we want to get your money back to you as quickly as possible. Well, if we're looking at almost a year, that's not very quick.
He eventually reached out to News5 Investigates for help. And after making one phone call, "Hi, this is Chief Investigative Reporter Eric Ross," and sending one email, a few days later, Joel's check from the state arrived in the mail. If you're curious to know whether the state owes you money, all you have to do is visit the Great Colorado Payback website. We've posted a link for you on our website, koaa.com. Now, once you're on the site, all you have to do is plug in your name or business name, and if you want to narrow your search, you could even plug your city or zip code in. Click on search, and if there is money that is waiting to be claimed, it will print out a spreadsheet that shows you who owes you money and whether the amount is over or under $50. Still to come.
Without you, this wouldn't have never happened.
We take pride in our commitment to help our viewers. A closer look at some of our most memorable result-driven investigations. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thousands of people across the Pikes Peak region suffered major damage from hailstorms last summer. During that time, we discovered one pop-up hail repair tent was taking advantage of customers. Our investigation into AAG Auto Hail Repair found the company failed to finish repairs on a veteran's truck and then forged his signature to defraud the insurance company. Well, after our initial story aired, a local collision repair center reached out to us and wanted to make things right. A 3-month-long problem for Vernon Jones has come to an end, thanks to the folks at Service King Collision Repair on the city's west side.
They put a brand new top on it, a brand new hood, knocked all the dents out of the fenders and the tailgate and the side of the truck, and they repainted it over.
The issue began when Vernon took his red Dodge pickup to this pop-up hail repair tent on South Academy. Employees there never finished the work they promised and instead cashed Vernon's unsigned insurance check they collected up front.
That is not my signature. I know how to spell my own name.
2 certified forensic document examiners both told us the signature on the check appears to be a forgery based on the stroke pattern and the fact that Vernon's name is spelled wrong. When we showed up to the hail repair tent to ask questions, employees were not eager to talk. One decided to wrap himself in a tarp. Another grabbed our camera.
You cannot touch the camera. You cannot film me either.
Sure we can. We're in a public
No,
parking
you
lot.
can't.
We're in a public space.
You can't.
So while you're here, I do have a couple questions.
They ran from the camera, You know, the guy didn't want to answer your questions and stuff.
Not even the owner could explain who signed Vernon's check. Who cashed his insurance check? Because that's not his signature. His name is spelled wrong.
Sure. You never want to go to the fly-by-night places or anything like that. He was taken advantage of. They cashed a check, and the story really bugged us.
Service King Collision Repair Operations Director Rory Crosby couldn't believe what he saw in our report and decided to fix Vernon's truck for free.
He's a veteran. You know, it was the right thing to do when we saw the story. Just a good deed. We actually evaluated the roof, and the roof was pretty heavily damaged. We ended up replacing the whole entire roof, the hood. It's probably close to about a $12,000 repair.
I just want to say that I'm really satisfied with the job that was done to my truck. And I want to give thanks to Channel 5 News, because without you, this wouldn't have never happened.
Colorado Springs police have not filed any criminal charges against employees at AAG Auto Hail Repair, although a spokesperson for the department maintains the case is still part of an active criminal investigation. Turning now to a case that called into question whether a tow truck driver went too far when he towed a woman's car out of her own carport in the middle of the night. The reason? He thought her tags were expired. Our investigation found this woman's tags were valid, but the tow company refused to issue a refund. That's when one of you decided to step up to the plate. Pamela Goddard called News5 Investigates for help after M&S Towing took the family car in the middle of the night. A tow receipt showed it was impounded at 12:48 a.m. on May 2nd. The tow truck driver had marked the vehicle unregistered, but News5 Investigates found this was false. Pamela had renewed her registration on April 30th, the month it expired, but simply didn't have enough time to change the tags as she's been caring for her dying husband.
He's in hospice at home. He has prostate cancer, but it's spread and now his liver's failing.
To make matters worse, M&S Towing refused to give Pamela her car back until she paid them $229. I tried to reach out to the tow company's owner, Sergio Cornejo, to get his side of the story. He refused to call me back. However, a woman who identified herself as a manager told me no refund will be given. But a viewer who saw our story called me and wanted to donate $300 to Pamela. Thursday afternoon, I returned to the mobile home park to give her the money. After our story aired, we had a viewer contact us. He wants to remain anonymous, but he was so disgusted by what this tow truck company did to you and your family. He wanted to make things right.
Oh.
And so, here I have $300 for you, the cost of the tow bill, plus a little bit extra to take care of your husband.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really do. It's good to know there's good people out there, and I really appreciate what you've done for me.
Now, if you have a problem or issue with the tow truck company, you can file a complaint directly with the Public Utilities Commission. We've posted their information online at KOAA.com. A News5 investigation just a few months ago found dozens of veterans' names missing from the Veterans Bridge Memorial in Pueblo. One longtime resident reached out to News5 for help after she waited months to have her husband's name engraved on the wall. Well, just a few days after we started asking questions about the project, we saw results.
Pueblo's supposed to be the home of heroes, and we put the emphasis on our veterans, and yet when it comes to this particular entity, this doesn't seem to be a priority at all.
Sharon Williams is talking about the Veterans Bridge project, ran by the Harp Foundation in Pueblo. The pedestrian bridge is lined with the names of veterans who served in all branches of service. In December 2017, Williams paid the Harp Foundation $150 to have her husband's name engraved.
We just want it resolved. We just would like the tile done. That's the only thing we want, you know, is just that the tile gets done. My husband is ill, and we would like to see the tile done quickly.
I called the Harp Authority and set up an interview with Executive Director Lynn Clark to better understand the holdup.
Sometimes we have a proposed date for engraving and we miss that date, and I know that's really disappointing for people.
Clark understands Williams' frustration and says she too is frustrated. She says the 40 names needed to engrave the next tile were not collected until this summer. However, the Harp Foundation promised the engraving would be done by the end of September.
In the case where this particular viewer contacted you, our vendor was unable to complete the work on the date that he gave us. And we're very sorry about that. We were disappointed as well.
After multiple phone calls, the engraver finally came around. His excuse for the delay? Bad weather and no access to his tools. On Saturday, workers showed up to engrave the names of 40 more veterans who served our country, including Sharon's husband Thomas, who was in the Army from 1962 to 1965. I relayed the good news to the Williams family over the phone this week.
Well, thank you so much for your action, because I'm sure we would have still been getting the runaround had you not pressed the issue.
The veterans in this community are too important to the Heart Foundation and the staff here to disappoint them. So we do apologize for the frustration, and I know we can do better.
The Heart Foundation had a board meeting shortly after our story aired to create a plan B for future engravings should the current contractor not be able to meet deadlines. Coming up, you ruined a lot of these people's lives and they want to know where their money is.
No comment.
A News 5 investigation lands this former Sheriff's Office dive team member on the wrong side of the law. And now he's headed to court. We'll reveal the charges he's facing next. Welcome back. He was a Sheriff's Office dive team member by day, but on the side, he ran an unlicensed contracting business and is accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from more than a dozen victims. Our reporting launched a criminal investigation, which ultimately led to a 14 felony count indictment against Joe Pacheco. There is no shortage of victims who say Joe Pacheco took their money and left them with a mess.
He was a very smooth talker, until he got our money.
Joyce Larry hired Pacheco a year ago to build a new patio, which he never finished.
I was calling him and calling him. He had every excuse in the book. He said that the supplies were back ordered, he couldn't do it.
Jeff Garcia is out tens of thousands of dollars after he hired Pacheco to remodel a new home he just bought.
He started demo, which he did not complete the demo. You know, every week it was a fight with him because he wanted more money.
John Creek hired Pacheco to remodel his kitchen.
He came in and started June 1st, disassembling everything, tearing everything out, and then left.
We wanted our cabinets that he ordered. Found out that he never actually ordered the cabinets.
Roy Desalernos claims he's out more than 40 grand for a kitchen Pacheco never finished either.
He just quit answering his phones.
During the time Pacheco was reportedly ripping off customers, we learned he was on the dive team with the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office. He was fired just one day after we started asking questions. We also uncovered Pacheco is not a licensed contractor. Our investigation led Pueblo's regional building department to cite Pacheco earlier this year for not having a license or pulling proper permits. He was slapped with fines, but nothing compared to the 14 felony theft counts he now faces.
I truthfully believe that if it wasn't for you and Channel 5 Investigates, this would have not gone anywhere in this town.
But there's still one unanswered question. Where's the approximate $400,000 Pacheco reportedly got paid? Do you plan on returning any of the money you took? Where did all the money go?
No comment.
I don't know where that kind of money, and that money for me would last a long time, $400,000. I believe that's under some pillow somewhere.
You ruined a lot of these people's lives and they want to know where their money is.
No comment. Thank you. Have a nice day.
It's hard for us to have a nice day, and it's hard for these people to have a nice day when you took their money and ran.
He took our money. We're never going to see a penny of it. The only thing that we're going to get out of it is hopefully justice will be served. Nobody gave a flip about putting his feet to the fire, except Channel 5.
Pacheco is due back in court January 14th, and you can count on us to keep you up to date on this case every step of the way. We'll be right back. And before we go tonight, I want to thank you for allowing us to share your stories. It's both an honor and privilege to work in this community where we focus not just on exposing problems and wrongdoing, but finding solutions and getting results. Remember, a lot of our stories come from viewers like you. If you have a problem or issue you think needs our attention, we're happy to look into it. You can call our Investigates tip line anytime at 719-228-6275, or feel free to send an email to news5investigates@koaa.com. From all of us here at News 5, thank you for watching and good night.